No, okay. Well, that's supposed to have a fade out, but that's fine. Hello! Hello! Everybody, how are you today? Let me turn the sound back on. There we are. Alright. I'm just double checking. I'm definitely working tomorrow. Yes, yes. Okay. Hello. Hello. Just putting my alarms on for tomorrow so I shan't forget, even though I'm unlikely to forget to begin with. Come on. Boop. Alright. Welcome back to more Ace Attorney. We're doing it. I'm exhausted and want to crawl into bed. You can. You have that agency, okay? Winning, okay? Oh, my feet are cold. Okay. She's fine. The feet are fine. I need to do meds first. Just bang them all down, obviously, all at once. I know you can't do that, but... And then just pass out. Because that's what they would probably do if you did do that. Why hand hurt? This is fit. Oh, wait. I played power washing sim today. Yeah, that's probably it. It's amazing how much playing power washing sim can actually just fuck up your hand. I'm like, I genuinely feel like my hand is like scooting along sometimes, and then I play power wash sim and I like instinctively like tighten everything in my hand because I'm like moving the mouse around. I also did, I've been playing stuff, guys. I know, she's crazy. All right. But yeah, welcome back. Let's get into it because I really want to try and get through as much as we can today. Even though I do not think that will be possible. There's been a lot of yakking in this arc so far, and obviously people coming back and blah, blah, blah. So there's things we gotta get through. So yeah, let's do it. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. I've seen my fair share. Oh, also, so we started the new chapter. So let me the new chapter is basically there was this guy who was attempting, called Hairbrain, who was attempting to teleport somebody. He was trying to attempt teleportation. And he is apparently successful. He was apparently successful, amazingly, because the body transported from our current location to the Crystal Tower, which is adjacent. Yes, but obviously the guy who we're defending is obviously innocent, so who did it? Anyway. You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course! Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang! In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Well, yeah. That might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs.
One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. Wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in that roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Oh.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
He's looking with a studying eye. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air?
Yeah, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know?
Child when it suits you, you mean?
From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this lever here...
Stop! Don't touch that!
That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over here now, just now, Gregsy.
Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, I can't let you touch anything up here.
Oh, so sorry. You can have some of my latest blend of tea.
Ah, wonderful. That stuff really is wonderful. Just like old times, this is. Hey, Gregsy. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector, so we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ah, listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Yes, that specific dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I guess that's the government thinks it's playing at something.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh.
Surely that's a right, isn't it, Gregsy?
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship, but don't get your dainty hands dirty, will ya?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno?
No. She really knows how to get what she wants. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I would say. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, yeah? I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please spare a thought for your digestion. I want the chips. Do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? He asks. Looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding crap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't we? Can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yeah, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think? Oh, isn't it a wonderful one? The handle is in the shape of a letter A.
That could be important. Is it? Yeah, I guess you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure I'll kill you before I strap myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry, I only touched it a weeny bit, though.
Well, Gregsy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really, very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever. Fancy spotting something like that. I mean, it's just a screwdriver. What's it gonna tell you? But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
Oh, Naruto found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. Thanks, buddy.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is gonna make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Poor Gregsy. Oh my god. No analyzing of William and Turner in the corner? Alright, mate. Doesn't look like I can really inspect anything else other than the view. A gigantic... What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel. Yeah, close enough.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you see.
Why?
Well, they rotate nice and slow, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's because it's turning so slowly, one complete revolution takes about half an hour.
If you were mad enough to go on one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno.
Alright. Converse with the good man. Do I really need to talk more about this apparent act? We got all the answers about it. There is an act which prevents the examination of the stuff here to ensure that, you know, scientific secrets don't get revealed. That's it. Government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yeah, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientific rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
Making that any theories, the brains have remained their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Only the forensics investigation team can inspect the area. Okay. We've been relegated to keeping guard. Any old fool can see this as a heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Grexine. He's very head up, isn't he?
Can't blame him. Hi, Daft. Thanks for the healing vibes. Always! Specialist isn't available till June. Boo! That's so far away. I say that, it's not that far away, but it's pretty far away. I have to admit, it's so weird that I feel like tons of things are going to be happening at the start of June. Like, there's your birthday, Lily's birthday, the 4th season of Vox Machina is coming out. Summer Game Fest will be on that weekend. I think there's a Melbourne thing on that weekend too somewhere. What else is my parents are going away. My parents are gonna be away for a month, guys. How am I going to live without seeing my parents for like a whole month? That's insane. Over a month. And then they're gonna be moving into their new house. Like, if they still get their cruise, of course. God, I feel like every day, it's gonna be a real bad month. Every single day is going to be checking the news to make sure nothing dramatic and nothing has accelerated in the war. You know, at this rate, I feel like the entirety of America is just gonna leave Trump off on its doorstep. Normally it's like 6 months, so I'm happy. Good, good. Meds have been put together and now I can curl in bed. I'm just imagining you like a dog. You know, like that kind of thing. Do your little biscuits before you sit down. Itty bitty biscuits. It was funny, I was discussing with my parents about the next couple of weeks. And I was like, I guess we're gonna basically be seeing our parents the next couple of weeks all in a row, weekends all in a row. Maybe minus one weekend there, but we're gonna be seeing them pretty regularly for the next month, and then we're just not gonna see him at all. My dentist appointment's coming up. Well, in May, it's coming up. Oh my god, The Good Omens. Guys, if you didn't go see The Good Omens trailer for their season 3, even though it's a movie, very exciting. I mean, I'm also a bit of a bitch, so I was thinking more of like a cat. It could be a cat or a dog, but like maybe synonymous. A cat dog, yeah. Why do I feel like I'm referencing something? Is there something like a cat, dog, and a moon? Maybe I'm just thinking of Avatar. Not that they have a cat dog in Avatar. It's just that they have... Don't worry about it. Anyway, they have like a combination names for random stuff, like the lion turtle. Anyway. I haven't had me, Sunshine. It's the special suspension for the Scientific Equipment Act. God, this is how Adara talks all the time. She's like, the code and work health safety code 52. I don't know what she means half the time. There's an entire Nickelodeon show called Cat Dog. Wait, really? About one and a cat, one and a dog. Yeah, okay, yeah. That sounds right. That sounds correct. Because I was definitely thinking something animated, but I was thinking of Adventure Time and I was like, no, that's not right. That sounds more right. Okay. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or adventures to some suits in the civil service. And it gets rubber stamped as a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. You don't need to explain this, please. Oh, I'm gonna skim through this. I don't know why they're having whole discussions explaining confidentiality of science and ideas.
That sounds like my dream job.
Yeah, I'm just standing around protecting everything. It's fucking ridiculous, and now they need a research grant. And who keeps them all safe? That's the coppers. Hang it all. Okay, anyway. Apparently Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany and now conducting his research. That's right, came back to Britain specifically for the Great Expedition as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zieks. Eh? What? That's news to me. He's gonna love it. He's like, excellent, goss! But if Van Zieks mans the prosecution, then it's the accused the professor's fate is sealed, because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that his head of his. Talking of Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, right. Glad to hear it. Still the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? Victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asman, was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Barak von Zieks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yeah, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hand if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zieks is no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. We find out it's Sholmes. That would be the craziest, like... I just want to say, like, I would love that you find out the dumbass who's been following you around this whole time is actually the guy. Oh my god, Lily's playing Bellatrix. God, what a lesbian. Is actually the dumbhead, the Sholmes, the dummy, actually ends up being like the mastermind all along. That's what I need right now. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? I was really hoping Lily was in chat. I love you, Lily! Said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person. Easygoing, kind. You what? Said it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have an idea? The Hounds of Baskerville. No clue. Except he does know. It's kind of funny how he knows, Sholmes knows, Barak von Zieks knows. yeah, about whatever this Hounds of Baskerville's case is. Even technically Iris knows about it, it's just that she read about it and doesn't know the actual intricacies of it. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Alright, bye! Where do I go now? Back to prison? T-posing. I looked almost ominous with the music. Shams. Someone say lesbian? I am here. Literally just joined. She arrived! Oh my god! Okay, thank god. How did you know? She just knows everything. She's that cool. Shams, are you around, buddy boo? Nope. Okay. I'm also technically here. You're existing very well, Astania. Okay. Ah. Hello, good woman. I need to examine something. Well, I guess I haven't examined these, have I? Looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I deduced it was a part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. Charring, it must have occurred when the lightning struck. Or maybe not. Some sort of lever here. Surprise, surprise! It's a it's a crossbow, literally. What the? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Probably the same thing too. Okay. Well, alright then. Says I'm missing something. Hold up. Give me a second, guys. We talked to Gina. 1, 2, 3, 4. She gives me the piece of paper. Oh, it wants me to look up. Oh. Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. Okay. It was built to the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is being so tall with all the glass. How is it not obvious that it's a crossbow? I know, right? Well, actually, you know, he's from a different part of the world. Maybe he's never seen one. Especially not compact like that. Because it was nor a cross nor a bow. Not in my dictionary. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. Oh no, I did do that.
Of course, there's an observation deck. There's also an art gallery, a zoo, a museum.
Where'd you have to? Yeah, okay. We definitely had this discussion. What am I missing? What am I missing? Oh, there's a looky-uppy. I forgot there was a looky-uppy again. Okay. God, I'm sorry. They've never shown it before. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the crystal tower. I admittedly also, that's where my camera is. So my camera has like this little like down like part, obviously, to make sure it doesn't like fall forwards or backwards. And that's exactly where that arrow is. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going.
I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower where they'd be reconstructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yeah.
But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Such a cool photo. Anything else to tell me about? There's the people carrying balloons dangling silently in the skies above London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly, but I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful floating Tamari handballs.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Runo, please.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared.
Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode.
Very reassuring. I like it. I like it. I read that as IRS. It is the IRS. She's coming. Didn't you know? She's coming for your taxes. Yeah, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Bro is just like me. God bless him. Alright. What am I missing? What did I miss? Since investigation is restricted here, it seems as good as time at any ever to check on Sholmes, and Iris knows where he is. And then move to the location. I have to examine the machine. Talk to Gregson. Government policies. Special dispensing. Hairbrain. Mystery of the Reaper. What did I miss? I've done all these things, haven't I? Iris. Speak to me, Iris. Iris-san. Can you tell me where Sholmes to do? Does it actually tell me? I have had to have these discussions before to like progress the plot, I'm pretty sure. I love that he believes that Sasato is gonna go back.
At 30 feet above the ground, apparently.
Oh, okay, there's a difference between inspecting the platform and inspecting the... Okay, sure, whatever.
That's what a policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Runo. It's time you got used to our measurements.
Yes, well, I thought feet was American. This thing is so tall that the spectators at the front would just have been a wall and nothing else.
You probably thought they'd secure the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed.
As a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. Ugh. Okay. Surely! Iris? Iris-san? If I tried talking to him again. What did I do wrong? Examine the machine. Examine it again. Talk to Gregson. Come on, Iris. Please. Speak to me, Iris. I can't go to this next location. I know you speak to me. You know what? I'm gonna go do something else, though, for a second. I just saw that I can get an achievement for something, so now I gotta go do it. Just for funsies. Oh no, I can't present to him. God damn it. It says I can get an achievement for presenting my lawyer's R-band to him. I would have liked to have seen it. Oh well. What am I doing wrong? Nothing in the prison. Nothing in the LCJ office. Sholmes ain't here. Come on, game. What am I missing? Oh. Hi, Mary. There's an achievement in Phasmo if you die from a demon in under 60 seconds. I missed it by 1 second. Oh my god, you were so close. Fucking rude. Dang, that's impressive. Oh. This could be something I'm missing here. Here we go. That's where the cough ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. Yeah, they're calling the experiment a success.
What's the wooden scaffolding there for?
The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Dunno, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffolding then? Nah. Lookout duty's more my thing. Wander around the exposition, keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Okay, finally.
Rena, listen!
What? What is it?
I've been thinking. I believe I know something. Mightn't he?
About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred. Something that changed his life. He's in the middle of some big case though, isn't he?
Here, this is what you need.
What's this? Madame Tuss spells? Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yeah.
How is it you know where he is?
Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo.
Madame Tusples. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating. Stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. That's dead facts. Alright, so now we can go to the new location. Excellent. Hi, Austin. Don't ask me why I thought today was Wednesday. That's okay, because I literally had a train of thought earlier where I was like, I might actually finish this game sooner than I thought I initially thought. Because obviously today's Tuesday. And that's better than it being Wednesday or Thursday. This was a whole line of thought I had in my head. And then I like sat down to stream and I was like, I checked my phone and I was like, it's Thursday. Fuck. All right. Oh no. That guy's real. Oh. Whoa, what is this place? That's such a cool image. Look at all these terrifying scenes and the people so still. Guillotines, ruthless murders. I don't know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. That guy's sitting down, he's definitely real. That guy standing though, he could equally be real. Just saying.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? Bro doesn't like mannequins. I read about dead bodies and wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after dead parts of them, we can turn to wax, apparently. It's called, democracy.
Don't talk about creepy things, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway, adipocere doesn't form readily. What now?
I just remembered something else I read in another magazine about a strange phenomenon. I don't know. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. It sounds like an episode of Get Smart.
None of the exhibits in here are real.
Poor guy.
They're all entirely made up man-made replicas.
They can't be. You really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh. You're an idiot. Oopsie.
There's no way anyone could make models of people that are this realistic. What a fucking pan! Look at that guy does look incredibly realistic. There's just something about that swagger, that pose. And they're all such gruesome scenes. And shows? Wait.
What is it?
Oh, no. I must be seeing things. Why is there a hand there? Oh, I don't like that at all. Why is there a hand? Oh, is that an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models had fallen over?
You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you?
Bruno, stop scaring me.
Is it a wax arm or a real one?
Come on, you're always pointing the finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! There's no way I'm doing that. Oh, shame. Hey, Shams. How's my buddy going? It's the great detective Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Is his own wax statue in here? Really? No, that's the real one.
Well, he's a world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? To make my skin crawl to look at it.
I know.
It's gotta be the real one, right?
But look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley. He doesn't even move a muscle.
Please do it, do it, do it, do it. You can go around and... That was perfect. That was as good as I wanted it to be. I'm so happy. That's so good. Such a good bit. Oh, okay. You can't go around kicking the exhibit's iris. Wait. He's trying so hard. Yes. Keep it going, Herlock. It just moved. I'm sure. I'm not just a little bit either. He's bleeding. Alright. I knew Shams would be here at some point. The comedy is on point, it really is. Look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on? Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy, much more appealing. My dear fellows, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Shams! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbid you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me!
Baruna has something he needs to ask you.
Ah, a question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored, too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more before being stationary like that, and my great brain upon which all my successes have been built would have turned to wax. Sure, buddy. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Unimaginable. Blech.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
Unimaginable. Anyway, sorry, I just make it sure I can still say the word. You could know something, it's true, about Lord Benzeek's and what happened in the past to change him. He's not gonna tell you. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm quite a hurry. If my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that is related to the matter about which you've come to me, Amao. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? What? I want to look at the scene. Let's talk to the real live man over there, because that's a real live man right there. No, I want to move scene. No. There's a lot going on here. Is this like a female Dracula? Some famous murderer?
Yeah, called Jane the Ripper.
Nice. Good bit.
All her victims were young women.
I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding the knife. Sure sign of a murderer.
Oh, yeah. What's the matter, Runo?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can soak in her victim's score. I think that's a different reference. Not Jack the Ripper. I mean, it's someone else.
Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub.
Really?
Sorry, I don't think it's significant.
There's gotta be a reason for it. The big heavy curtain is a very prominent position, isn't it? A nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yeah, that's the famous Tespil's special exhibit. It depicts one of London's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Hey, more money to be even more terrified? Let me think on that for a second.
It was only a suggestion.
So sassy. Models are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Well, the one on the right is real.
That's how Hurley gets away with making himself a temporary exhibit for the day.
Maybe there are some other people posing as exhibits in here then.
Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time, all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly stop moving again.
Just thinking about it makes me wish I was closing time already and I was on my way home. Wait, can I talk to the old man? That's a real old man, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna bet my cahoodles on it, okay? That looks like a real life man who's just doing his duty of keeping an eye on the place. It's an example of Western Sujigiri? Sujigiri?
I don't know what that is.
You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword.
I still don't know. No. But actually, a waxwork samurai could probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Runo? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned?
I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Excuse me, what? What do you mean, for now, at least? Hold on. What is this place? Madame Tuspel came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed a great popularity in London. It's not an old man, it's the policeman who was lovey-dovey. No, it isn't! He's so old! Look at him! He has white hair, okay? The other guy was a young lad. I will agree that it's the same scarf, now that you've brought that up, but I'm pretty sure the hair is not correct. So it must be his granddad or something, surely. It's not Rolly. Could be his granddad. There are museums like this too in Japan, and these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspel family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. That sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expression of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the execution.
What? That's just one of several legends about the Tuspel family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is the House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the great exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them! This guy's crazy. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them. Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? For rent, my dear fellow, for rent! We can't afford this house! Yeah, my dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. There you go. And I have the ravenous iris to consider. Also, how has Ryunosuke been staying here for the last like 6 months? 9 months. 6, 9, whatever it is.
Oh, Early, I'm so hungry.
If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo.
What's he threatening to rope me into now?
So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Why did that final remark sound like a curse? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Our friend Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. Handsome as ever. Hey, Balvon. So I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Harebrained, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at the university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeek such a different person. It must have been only like 5 years ago.
I'm sure that you'd know, Hurley.
No, not at all. You said there was something going on in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot? And that you believe it was related to what I wanted to ask you about? Mr. Sholmes, you suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached an impasse. Greetings. Whoa! Whoa! Lily! Lily! Pretty girl alert! Maybe? Could be a guy underneath, we'll find out, but look, the pretty wizard! Pretty wizard lady! Hello, where did she come from? And what's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? Oh my god! I know! Oh my god! She looks like she should be in Witch Hat at Atelier. Oh my god. God, I need to think of a voice. That's not just like all my other voices. You know, I'll probably just do, just really normal. I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you know that? Not again! My apologies. I'm Esmeralda Tusples. This is my museum of waxwork. What? You're the Madame Tusples? Bien, sir. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Yes. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madam in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Indeed. Oh yeah, and she's French too. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes then. It was led to believe this was a great detective, but he seemed unable to settle. That's so facts. What? Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. Toss him into the fire, yeah. Oh my god. She's hot, passes out. Lily, calm down. Oh gods, they made Clifford even hotter. Okay. Oh my god. Well, I know what costume I'm buying for Ashley. Getting all the lesbians, let's go. Oh my god, that fainting animation is the best thing in this entire game.
She sounds dead serious.
Yeah, for good reason. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said about something being afoot, right here in the museum, I mean.
More like an arm. Something is an arm.
I'm so curious, I want to know what's happening.
Haven't we got enough on our plate? Make all these waxworks, Madame Tusples. I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know.
Gosh.
It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checked, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that led to the astonishing lifelikeliness.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. Sorry, I got a bit of a cough at the moment. It doesn't seem to ever leave me. No matter what suspicious medicine that Hurley seems to feed me. My poops turned green. Anyway, they look more alive than Hurley.
TBT with Han. TBT? What's TBT? Hi, Cameron. Hope you're doing well. Illy. And... whoa, spur wrinkle positivity. What you see exhibit here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. Other waxworks were created in the presence of the real people in which they are modeled, in the hours immediately following their execution. That is the secret of the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All the walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Why wouldn't the public have wished just for something less horrifying? They're getting there. Do not fear. Sorry. This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre of theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians, something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Throwback Thursday. Oh yeah, because I went. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because so in the past my chair had a solid back, but now it like bends with me. So every time I go to like laugh a lot, rather than like leaning backwards and going ha ha ha, it's like wee. Ugh. Okay.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
Okay. He's looking great. What's the situation with that? My temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. What sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibit needs is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's a great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme, so I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. Even though he's poor. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Oh my god. Why does he need this much money though? I don't think rent should be that much. I don't know. Or words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem. That must be resolved by the morning. 50 shilling problem. Or words to that effect.
It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Okay. I wonder, could I ask you something?
Bien sûr.
Just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was the temporary waxwork over there who mentioned to me a little. He's gone. Hi, Con. Get them fingies out, Han. I don't know if I want to now. Man, Con, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. For 82 months. That's crazy. Tier 1 subscription for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 T2 months. Much appreciated. There you go. Are you happy now? Or 7. Did we say 7 years? No, it's not quite 7 years. You know, the math is falling apart in my head. Yeah, in 2 more months, it'll be 7 years. So it should be 6 months and 10. Wait. Should be 6 months and 10? No, sorry, 6 years and 10 months. Damn, reverse psychology almost worked. Max model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Huh? Oh. There you are.
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working. Do you wish to be meted down?
My dear Madame Tussle, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our idea about your current problem we should throw into the melting pot instead. But personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shilling. Though, please be aware that I prefer no. I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Before I engage in my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the Tusper special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors? It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Absolutely non. Absolutely not. Non. Absolutely non. There is nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madam. Then what is that arm doing here?
Duh.
This really should just be an anniversary of your affiliate status. That's all it really, well, that's how I was doing the math, because I was like, I got affiliate in 2019 in June, July, whenever it was. I always forget because over my head. So that's how I remember. I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a second.
What's behind? A dead body? Somebody broken? Must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. Desert Tuspel special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however? is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Is this the guy who was in the second game? No. Well, have we seen this guy before? He does look like a very meh character, doesn't he? Is he alive or dead? That's the question. Well, then perhaps Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor, is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's perfectly ordinary London gentleman, not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. First, is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in the special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Duh. She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. Hannah's only like 25, 26, going off the bar. 26. Oh shit, wait, have I updated it since I'm older? Hold up. I'm so fucking old. Get onto the stream to me making that noise. Oh my god. Okay. What am I? I'm fucking 26 now. I'm changing it. Potato. God, I haven't changed anything on my stream. I really need to change some things. God forbid, but like, it just doesn't happen, okay? I need more time. There's not enough time to do everything, guys. Anyway. New October sound effect just dropped. Ah. Damn you old. Right back at you, buddy. We're doing great. Anyway. So, Madam Tusples, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Here we go again. Waxworks fit. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in the museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so heavily from your bag. I didn't notice that. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast. It would seem, Madam Tusples. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by the public notice. Not the dead man. Waxworks for sale, your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of 200 pounds. No. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which you are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Fortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. What? What makes you think that? It would appear you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. God, her hair is amazing, by the way. What are you suggesting? He actually agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. And when he came to hand over the money, did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us, he collapsed in shock. It hurts. No. No. Why is he such a fool? Sold for cash. my god. Your French person is evil? Fork found in kitchen. Wow, that's fucking rude. Alright, the French are so cool. They stand for revolution. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem. You cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief, such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, the young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. He's making this up. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But... Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he was waxwork. But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence. A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps their going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. No, that's a human. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard, isn't that so, madam? I do not... Yes, the waxwork you sold have already been seized by the police and remain in their custody as we speak. God, why is this man such a fool? Can we? No. 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 I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley, you have. And you're obviously upset this poor lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Shams. Ah, notorious Naruhodo. 1 point. I'm all ears, my fellow. I mean, he's the particular ruthless murderer, wouldn't he? The killer policeman, Automol. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole.
You mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed, it's a particularly grim face, is it not? Is there anything else before I met you? That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
I do like that she mimics Sholmes. Let's go! Course correction! Okay. Alright, now we can just click through this at least. So stupid. Oh.
That's the note doing pinned on the wall there.
Ah, let's see. Dear Madame Tusples, we've taken the prisoner from this room? What? We've taken the prisoner from this room. What prisoner? The price for his safety return is £200. Have the money ready by noon on the 23rd of October. It's the 22nd today.
What?
This is the sort of thing left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Ransom note.
Yeah, bro, you should know the word ransom note. Oh shit.
Take that!
The significance of the £200 is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. £200 is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The matter in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the £200 you have in your handbag is ransom money. So if the waxworks work was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
You just ask him.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yeah, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, what really left the man stretched out on the floor. Does she have a mallet on hand? Oh, she has the hand at the back. I don't like that. What the fuck? Why is she just wielding that behind her?
This is just Madame Dalton's right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, wait a second. It's a left hand as well, look.
Don't such just creepy things, Cyrus, please.
Seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax?
Take that!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact it's left hand. Duh. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It's the hand of a waxwork model. Yeah. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. I respect that. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us, he was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. That's so funny. Okay. Kidnapped. So they stole a waxwork figure. Okay. Okay. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
Way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yeah. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Skull and Yarn.
Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Well, uncovering secrets isn't any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, Ah, it has the arm. There's a stub sticking out where the shoulder should be.
Well, that settles it. That's where the arm got taken.
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth, of that I assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Shomps.
He's become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the exhibit room, wasn't it? A killer policeman. Cole Otomo, wasn't it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year. But I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though.
It's almost like that's just the price of the scarf and it's real. Hey, look, he's moving. That's crazy. I told you he was real.
Take that!
It's so obvious he looks real compared to everybody else. I mean, he looks like he's doing his job. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Thank you. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, though. And there you have it, Madame Tusple.
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place.
He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3p? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. It does look very similar to the ladies though, right? So either they're related, or the other, we're gonna find out the lady, the lovers in the other one sold the scarf because they need the cash? I don't know. Presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? The secret sign.
Of course, because, as you know, there's been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective.
So, it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Oh, God. Why did this take so long? Alright. Keep going.
Sometimes they drop in just for a short while on their way back to the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway.
Nice little twirly twirl.
Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madam. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt it will regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the wax work from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, tragically it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events when it was stolen.
After I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talent of a great detective could be put to great use, I feel, but as you wish. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I merely noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact.
You have a photo?
The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. That professor.
Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry.
The professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Huh? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. He would have been only, like, Sherlock's would have been only 24. 10 years ago. Yes, at exactly the time that Barak von Zieks graduated from university, in fact. It all comes back around. What? Surely he's not saying.
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life?
As you've surmised, it was the professor case. It was the professor then. This is a weird thing to bring up.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. Oh my god. How is this all related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's famous. Uh-oh.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy, members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Oh, wait, of course. What Professor Harbrain said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family of noble blood.
Oh gosh.
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zieks. No. I don't believe it. Van Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a work exhibit. Pardon. I feel like I in no way have enough, like, court information for tomorrow, but that's fine.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Oh, of course, it's been a pleasure, thank you. What is even happening anymore? Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me. Who's talking here? Oh. Oh shit. Voices. I kind of did like my Issen voice, but like a little differently, like a little bit more. It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. I like how he doesn't look at him. These two are so cool. And tomorrow the court will decide. Yeah. I have a young Easton man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barak, are you really? What? Never mind. I know you have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. God, I love him. I'm so fun. I do like the fact that it's almost like he took the prosecuting to ensure that he doesn't get caught out, right? Of course. I fully understand. Thank you, Barak. I love them. At this point, it doesn't concern me that the TV or my phone has been spying on me. My vacuum has been gathering dirt for years. Nice, geek. I have heard something similar to that. I've heard the end part before, but I like the lore you're building. Oh my god. Hope you're doing well, geek. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Aren't they cute? I love them. I just realized Con pinned damn you olds. Fucking what a bitch. Doing alright. Hanging out. I'm sleepy. I'm so excited to be done with work for tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be done with work for at least 2 days. I'm so excited for my weekend, guys. It's gonna be good. So the pinned message, was your birthday recently? Almost a month ago now, but relatively recently. My birthday is the 23rd of March, so. And arguably it was like, I took like 4 days off and did like a bunch of things on each day. It was arguably like the best birthday I've ever had. It took 26 years, but we got there, you know? Hey, look, the 23rd of October. 8:52 a.m. at the Old Bailey. Can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. Now here I am, back at the Old Bailey. So, Mr. Naruhodo. Good morning, Professor Hairbrain. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I feel it every time I'm here. That gravity. Well, this is Britain's highest court. Are you telling me it's fitting with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure? No, I think it's probably all in my mind. Yes. Well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you in today's trial to save my life. To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Or was it? Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. Who's talking here? Oh, it was him. My commiserations. You seem to have been lumped with a tiresome case. Mr. Sholmes, I didn't expect to see you here.
was very mean, Bruno, leaving me alone at home with Hurley. It took me at least an hour to wake him.
Oh, are you Herlock Sholmes? Indeed, sir. I am he. Herlock Sholmes. God, this man. I was kind of shocked. Mine's the 13th of April, so I'm like, we can't share the same birthday. That's illegal. Well, then that means happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear geek. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Here you go, buddy. I hope you had a wonderful day. Yeah, sprinkles! Woo! Whee! Thanks. No worries. I hope life is being kind to you. Okay. Oh, my arm still hurts so much. Ugh, I've heard all about your exploits, even whilst living in Germany.
Yeah, Friends magazine is on sale in Germany too.
This month's Stalin was sublime. Your deduction, The Adventures of Silver Blaze, was wonderful. Ah, yes, a memorable case. I remember nothing. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall.
No, that was the Speckled Band.
I knew it. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. I need to get that 50 shillings off that woman tomorrow. I have urgent business at Madame Tussle's, thank you. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork objection, of course. Madam has engaged my services. Ah, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note. The week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I intend to give it my undivided attention. Oh, well, never mind then. I understand. Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Kinda is. I received acceptance email for my son's new school. Yay! It'll seriously dent my budget, but worth it. Congrats. Good to hear. It's always like... I will say that I understand the importance of ensuring that a kid goes to a new school. That's what I'll say. I don't know what the circumstances are, your circumstances, but I know for other people's circumstances, it's kind of like, I mean, you might have just moved and it might be as simple as that, but then it's also like other situations where it's like, the kid just needs a change for a very good reason, bullying. Let's get him over here. Even if it costs more, it's worth it if they have peace of mind. That's what I mean. Or you have peace of mind. Just peace of mind is good. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description.
Then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley.
Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for pie. One of the university's intractable mysteries, you might say. Oh, yes, quite, definitely. Absolutely, I totally understand. Someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best, Professor Hairbrain. Good job for remembering the name, buddy. Why, thank you. Before I depart, Mr. Naruhodo, a word in your ear, if you please. This guy looks guilty as fuck. What's this about? As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to remind you. As compelling as this super high voltage instantaneous hypothesis may be. Dun, 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 dun. A practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Expedition, is quite impossible. Man, employing his science. But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was.
I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Runo, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically.
So he's completely barking up the wrong tree? How could an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that will be the heart of the trial, I've no doubt. Thanks for the help, Shalms. What's that supposed to mean? You know what that means? He said he read the papers, right? Or they both read the papers, which means both of these guys, like, went home for the day and just did their own homework and then came back to, like, help out, which is so nice. Now, I must hurry along. I wish you luck. Best of luck, my dear fellow.
See you later, Harley. Jana!
It's shifting from kindergarten to grade school. His current school don't offer grade programs, and the new school is good for his low support autism, and hopefully he'll thrive. That's good. That's good. I understand. Okay.
Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Runo, but chin up, you can do it.
What, you're with me, aren't you? Oh, what about you, Iris?
No. I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do.
I see. What's something you need to do?
It's gonna be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. I'm gonna go murder somebody! And I'm gonna store the body in your room! That'll be a real surprise after the trial!
That sounds ominous. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Counsel for the defense! I'm the defender! Sorry, the demons. Court is about to be in session. I keep drinking water and my tooth hurts. And I'm like, fuck. It hurt. Ay. I don't know how long this next part's gonna take. 9:10. Hey, look, it's the old guy who was in the room. That's so funny. Alright. And without Sasato's sound today. Oh, I don't have anyone with me. It's just my imagination, or does the air in here feel more oppressive than usual? Mr. Osmond was well known as a financier, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities. It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van, but the jury unanimously found him not guilty. Because every member of the jury had been bribed. Work of the Reaper, was it? If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution, but the fact remains that Mr. Osmond's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrain. Very well then. Have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials, all that nothing more than performances. And a spurious scholar, spurious? That defies the reputation of science deserves to hang. Yeah. We have to listen to what's said on both sides of the fence and settle on one way, that is, isn't it? I respect this kid. Damn. That's eating ton. Oh, they got a new corn on the cob. Yara, there's so much corn. God, I love corn. Hey, we know this guy. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. That's, The police killer Ottoman lookalike? Again? He's as exhausted as ever, it seems.
Let him sleep.
Though the death toll could have been far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators.
Oh my god.
A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, of the whole world, will be on trial. It's our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel.
At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world.
One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the great exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage.
The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage instantaneous kinesis.
Good lord.
It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled.
Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility?
Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure.
Assembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking.
Huh. Well, it is absurd. The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny.
Agreed.
And my word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycock. So this expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible.
What is the prosecution's view on the matter?
The prosecution would assert that the accused instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. He's lost his edge. I love it. Yes, go crazy, Barrack.
What?
What?
Rot.
Order.
The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it's deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. The accused made use of the invention built on this new hypothesis to take Mr. Asman's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. But... This disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. Can I just say, this is really good, like, pose that he's taken here, actually. Like, Van Zieks is actually on top of this, because, see, he's setting up an impossibility, right? So, which means that Naruhodo will be easy to refute the fact that it was, purposeful, okay? But that way, it proves that the professor is innocent if it was never possible to begin with, if that makes sense. If Ryunosuke proves that it's not possible, that it was never possible to begin with, then yeah, he shouldn't be, then Hairbrain shouldn't be accused of the crime. I guess what I'm saying is that Van Zieks trying to ensure that his friend gets free is creating massive holes in his argument. Pardon, versus the first couple of times we went against him, there was like tiny holes in his arguments, you know what I mean? Like there was tiny holes and we had to keep kind of trying to like pick through to find it. Well, this way he's created a massive like hole and he's like, pop it however you will. Anyway. Thanks, Van Zieks. What a guy.
Thank you, Van Zieks. You will now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claim.
Gladly, my lord. I love him. Bro's nervous. Witnesses, state your name and occupation.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question and in charge of the following investigation.
Yeah, me.
Albert Harebrain, a scientist? Question mark.
You were born in England, but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years, correct?
Yeah, that's right. After graduating from university here in Britain, I went to work in Germany and made an amazing discovery. Which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis too at the Great Exhibition.
What you demonstrated was incredible, alright, an incredible explosion.
But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. And there was that terrible accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success.
Well, that much is undeniable. It's a photograph by the forensic team. Everyone pay attention. He's a very gorgeous looking man, I will say. I mean, he's dead, but got the hair and the monocle. Damn. Anyway.
This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it. The centerpiece of the expedition, no less.
I'm just having a look. Because this... Does that look like it's made out of the same material, perchance? No. It looks like he has a parachute on, though, doesn't it? Oh, no, that's right. He was strapped into a machine. So he was in the middle of the machine, and the whole thing blew off and headed over here? Oh, man, I would have liked to have seen the crime scene a bit more.
That's right, my lord. Seeing the victim ram straight into it.
There you go.
Oh, very well.
Let me have a look. So how'd he get stabbed on the front? He got stabbed, but then was teleported? Theoretically teleported, you know what I mean. Because I mean, someone on the platform, you'd have to stab him and then somehow send the whole body and like thing over to the other side. That's the thing that shocks me the most. So it must have been... Oh. Oh, I think I know. Maybe? So, hear me out, guys. This is my hot take. What happened was, you have two sides, okay? You have two sides. You have the platform here, and then the crystal tower over here, okay? So, I reckon this guy wanted to try and scam money out of the, like, he wanted to work with Mr. Harebrain, in order to prove his hypothesis is correct, in order to get money from the government, right? He was gonna get, like, this tons of money from the government for the grant, okay? So it was a massive scam, okay? This guy was trying to enact a scam, but Harebrain believed in his invention. This guy didn't. So what he actually plans behind the scenes is the moment that he goes into the machine, he's supposed to, there's like, I don't know how exactly you would set this up, but the idea is, maybe he shoots a crossbow and maybe creates a, I don't know how this would all work, but like, again, theoretically, he somehow creates like a pulley system between these two buildings that make him go from point A to point B really fast, okay, to make it look like he teleported from one side to the other. So this guy was planning a scam, while Albert had no idea what was actually going on. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, if he was on a pulley system, right, he's like, just this part is like attached, right, and he scoots across like this over to the other side. Someone was waiting on this side and decided to stab him because maybe they caught them doing something. I don't know. That's the only way I would explain how he would get stabbed in the front, is the point. As the court, the victim of the incident was Mr. Artie Osmond. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, but putting them aside for the time being, he was the man who financed the research for the experiment and demonstration itself.
See, the demonstration itself, he was a part of the planning of the process.
Exactly. But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration?
That's right. That must be my splendid machine. My poor, splendid machine.
You saw her yesterday, didn't you? We can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
What? The wreckage? The wreckage?
Well, that being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it possibly be determined whether this was an accident or deliberate or malicious?
Extremely simple, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
Isn't that right, witness?
What? Huh? Me? Sorry? What?
No, your neighbor. Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could state with complete certainty.
What?
Tobias working against us. How could you? The corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck.
I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection, that's all. That was my mistake.
But the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound. There was a lesion in his chest where he'd clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the chest. You mean that screwdriver we found? So the victim was killed before he went anywhere, and this fella's the only one who could have done it.
Extraordinary business. In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart.
Information I would really like to have heard from someone other than the judge. Coroner says death would have been all but instant from a wound like that.
You can say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused.
No, that couldn't be possible. It couldn't be further from the truth.
I have here the experiment plan documented that was submitted to the security team. Can I read it? Braxton stood himself inside something called a birdcage, ready to be beamed instantly. Okay, here we go. It's all coming together. To the second level of this crystal tower, about 25 yards away. This also explains why there's like a crack in the window too. Like there's an obvious crack in the window of the tower, which means something must have shattered it to ensure that someone can get from one side to the other. It's just proving that obviously the teleportation isn't working. Yeah. Teleporting.
The experiment did not go according to plan, however. As the machine was put into operation, there was a large explosion. The blast caused the beam's transmitter to point higher than intended. Accordingly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in mid-air.
Sure.
From where it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the crystal tower's large round window. My word! What assumes the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower, then?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean this to happen. The machine was just too powerful. But honestly, really, I swear it was just an accident, a terrible accident.
Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you.
No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart.
Murder weapon? What are you saying?
This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner.
Thank you. Arigato. Sorry, I threw a rock through it. God damn it, Valvorn. Messing with the crime scene again.
Read.
Was there a person you know? It was the whole ludicrous performance. The only other person on stage with Mr. Asmund was that disgraceful use of an excuse it didn't exist.
And really, by all accounts, it should have been him.
Hard to believe otherwise, really. I'm not bored. No, I'm quite enthralled, really. No, I'm just waiting for stuff to go by. 47. 220 boom. Courtney Scythe. Alright. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken vertebrae, all most likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. It's interesting it does say considerable height, but as I said, my understanding is if there's a pulley system and he goes across like this, maybe he gets flung back with like, maybe the explosion that was made of the machine was supposed to blow him backwards along this pulley device to create enough exertion for him to get to the other side. But again, it like flung him way faster than I anticipated. So half suicide. Not quite though. He was still stabbed. Into, like, he could have broken his neck from the impact of the explosion blasting him backwards. Okay. Theoretically. Okay. Before we do this, save. I don't think I've saved in a while. It's been a lot of talking. Alright. I'm gonna go to the toilet real briefly, and I shall return. Hello. I'm back. For a funny sprite animation, pursue hairbrain incorrectly. He's doing great. We're so proud of him. Okay. Okay. Let's go with this one.
Hold it!
So the angle of projection is critical, is it? And you calculate it yourself, personally?
Absolutely. The calculation is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out. Finally, you got it wrong, didn't you? Yeah, that's right. That's the point. The calculation is so complicated, even I can make a mistake.
People fall for that brazen confidence. I should try it.
I took into account the subject's height and weight, the wind direction, and ambient temperature. I consider every possible variable, so I don't understand exactly how this could have happened.
Obviously then, you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Asman was wearing at the time, I suppose?
Crackling. Comets! The answer should have been 3!
So much for safety first, the 3 must be for safety third. Okay.
Hold it!
Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make sense. The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass of tower. It could be reasonable to assume that as the cause of death.
Right, that's what we thought. It was a red herring, wasn't it?
Hold it!
The defense knew nothing of this. Oh, okay. It was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. Sarcastic and insincere? Thanks. So what was the nature of the sharp object? Among the accused tools there were use a demonstration. One is of particular interest. This. Hey.
Oh yes, there appear to be some sort of screwdriver.
There he is. My trusty little companion, Andrew.
Oh my god. Andrew, of course.
Do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my tools. I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family. Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother, Michael, is a crosshead.
God bless this man.
It would appear your beloved Andrew was a red stain on his shank.
Oh, that isn't... It's blood, beyond all reasonable doubt.
No. That's not all. The long sharp shape of his Andrew fella is completely consistent with the victim's wound. What? What?
Okay. Time to inspect the evidence. Doo-doo-doo-doo. This is blood. Mr. Asman's, no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. What? See this unusual shaped handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged on the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine. Poking through the grill in the base of what remains of the kinesis machine. Alright. So one of Professor Hairbrain's tools is the murder weapon. Great. What information am I trying to find here? What grounds do you have for saying that?
Ah, you really need to ask. There were only 2 people in the public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd.
The victim, Mr. Ode Osman, and the accused, Professor Hairbrain. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive.
That's right, I saw it with my own eyes.
Furthermore, following the explosion and kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body.
In other words, only someone else on stage with the victim could possibly have done it.
Excuse me.
Here we go. Professor Hairbrain, do you need some information? Do you have some information that may be relevant?
Sorry. I was just calculating the optimal coefficient of electrolysis, something, to separate molecules in the human body.
And the witness stand is the best place for that? It seems as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark.
Yeah, that's right, of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Who else would have stabbed the victim, eh?
I don't know, but there's no way that I could possibly have stabbed Mr. Aspen, as you say.
Huh?
Please explain, Professor.
Of course, those cold-hearted policemen may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals with blood running continuously through their veins.
I had heard.
Then surely you see, if I'd plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the whole stage would be a bloodbath, no, a blood swimming pool.
You know, he's actually got a good point. There would be blood dripping around everywhere.
But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet, not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood.
Well, no, I guess not.
You see, not one.
True, I didn't see anything like it. Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument. He did it for us. Great. Class dismissed. Order, order.
Pray forgive the discourtesy if I savor a drop from my hallowed chalice to accompany my old friend's adducing. Adducing? Here's to you, Albert.
Oh, you're too kind, Barrack. I'm really not a patch on you.
No, you're not.
No?
You've neglected one crucial possibility.
I have.
A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a blood wound.
Yeah, of course.
Inspector, enlighten the court.
Leaving the weapon in.
The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beamed through the air.
Alright. Let me just save.
Hold it!
Why would you think that, Inspector?
With any wound, it's only when you pull the weapon out that profuse bleeding occurs. Whilst it's been lodged in the body, acts as a stopper of sorts.
Yeah, we know that. Nada hada. Where's Sasato when I need her?
If you ask me, this bloke masked what he was doing from the view with his body before stabbing Asman in the chest. Then he boomed the victim off the stage with his fancy device, the screwdriver still where he planted it.
I would never do such a thing, not to my precious tools. I would never use them for such dirty work. You only use tools for their intended purpose. That's common knowledge for any scientist.
The fact remains, the lack of blood at the scene can easily be explained, as the prosecution has demonstrated.
Well, the only thing I haven't pressed is this. This is definitely the other possibility. Is that the guy made the explosion happen, and then there was like an air balloon nearby that lifted him up, invisible to everyone else that could see because of the smoke of the explosion, to lift him up over here, but he underestimated how far up he was, and then fell down. And then someone else still stabbed him. I don't know. Okay. The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beamed through the air. So I need evidence to contradict this specific point. Oh, the screwdriver wasn't teleported with him. Maybe?
Objection.
Okay. That's a very specific point, but sure. You say that while the weapon remains in the body, there was very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal?
Look, there's no blood on the experimentation stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for it is that if the screwdriver was still in his body, stopping any heavy bleeding.
It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend, even on your side of the world. Yes. But about the screwdriver? The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage. What? It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I went to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
Well, now you're coming to mention it, yeah.
Inspector, are we to understand that you permitted the defense's counsel to investigate? That you contravened the special dispensation for...
No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. I just let him look, nothing more. I made it very clear he wasn't to touch a thing.
Yes, that's true. The screwdriver was in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it?
What are you getting at?
If this tool had been in the victim's body when the victim was beamed away by the machine, then it shouldn't have still been on stage.
Oh.
That's right, it should have been beamed across to the Crystal Tower alongside Mr. Usman, and been found still lodged in the victim's chest.
Alright, well, I don't know.
Looks as though everything that the victim has on his person moved with him when he was beamed. If the screwdriver was still in his chest, then instantaneous kinesis occurred. Obviously, that should have been beamed to the destination as well. It's a strange situation. Even though people are saying that this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility, we're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Alright, time to fuck shit up. My lord, if the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in its argument, we can only conclude that a testimony given in the support cannot be relied upon. Waterman Zerix is stumped. Oh.
Yeah, I knew it. It bears out. The equations hold. Mr. Naruhodo, don't worry.
About what?
Oh, without delving into the details, there is no inconsistency.
What?
Even if Andrew had been lodged in Mr. Aspen's chest,
Airbrain is not helping our case.
my trusty tool wouldn't have moved. Andrew remaining on stage is consistent with my calculations.
No, what? What? What are you doing? What are you doing, Albert? You could have just stayed quiet. Even he's dismayed. He's like, I'm trying to get you free, mate. It would seem your illusions have been shattered. Clearly, we should hear the accused's explanation. Poor man.
Or should I say this brilliant scientist's explanation?
He just wants to compliment his friend.
Name of Apollo, I will. Good sir, my lord. All the things. To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states that kinesis cannot transport metal, though. Hence, the metal weapon would have stayed put. In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhara isn't consistent at all.
The guy has fucking glasses on. We don't. This guy's fucking. The guy has glasses on.
So, the rest of your testimony, Professor. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, even if it remains lodged in the victim's chest, its subsequent discovery on the stage, despite the victim being found elsewhere, is not an inconsistency. Therefore, Professor Albert Harebrain could still have been the killer.
My great hypothesis holds, you see. We had to make the cage used to contain the subject for wood for that very reason.
Professor Harebrain? Whose side are you on here?
I don't take sides, Mr. Naruhodo. No. My only interest lies in upholding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist, after all.
Oh my god. Is he working for us or against us?
Let's see you cross-examine this, bitch.
Fire away, Mr. Naruhodo.
Let me save before I do this. I do need to go to bed soon, but let me do this. Surely I should be able to just present the evidence.
Objection.
Okay, cool. Professor Harebrain, you say that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis.
Yeah, that's right. Spot on. Exactly correct.
In that case, I ask that you look at this photograph. Clearly see that Mr. Asman is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim.
What? Metal? No, metal can't. That's not metal? No!
We've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should also have predicted that the metal-rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place.
My hypothesis!
I don't know why I went to go do Van Zeek's voice. I'm so sorry. Professor Harebrain, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed.
Order! What is the implication of this?
If on the day in question, the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere else than on stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit.
But my hypothesis is sound! I proved it that day. The experiment was a success. The proof of all my work.
I'm thinking about food. Oh, okay. I need to not get distracted. Don't think about sweets. Okay. That's latest problem. If I could say something here in my capacity as a fellow of Royal Society. As a man of science, there's one thing I simply cannot abide. And that's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science.
What? Wait, great Scott! Are you suggesting my science is suspect?
It's been disproved, hasn't it, in front of all of us? In other words, the whole demonstration was a complete nonsense from start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud.
No, never! The machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis. It's protected by the special defense...
What the devil is the blasted act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule? Sorry, I wasn't expecting this. What am I, sorry, am I defending him?
Objection.
Professor Harebrine has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem to be the case, yes. But even so what? Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection.
He had obvious reasons to do exactly that. For the research grant money.
Yeah.
The government was foolish enough to have deemed the man's ridiculous notion plausible. He and his conspirators could have received a handsome sum indeed.
Conspirators? What would be the value of such a grant? 10 pounds?
10,000. You're an order of magnitude out, yeah. 500 pounds a year.
Damn. Or I could live a handsome on that much for years.
So, society's noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently, and plenty of scientists arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you.
No, I haven't deceived anyone, least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound, the science is sound. Please, you gotta believe me.
No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment was a success.
Oh, Barrick.
And therefore, the only person who could possibly have committed the murder is the accused.
Oh, Barrick. Where's this heading? I have no idea.
My lord, if I may. The prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand. Spectators of the demonstration of the exhibit. Special seats.
Gina?
The accused killed the financier victim here on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectator. Okay.
Pretty lady juror number 2, marry me.
It's time for you to make your own stance clear.
See, he's giving a sign. It's clearly a flaw in the professor's hypothesis, I can see that. Where does that leave me?
As you wish, my lord.
Alright, is that part 1 done? Is that... Oh, damn. Okay. That was way quicker than I thought it was gonna be. Yay! And I didn't need the walkthrough. How long's the next part? Yeah. Alright, it's not too long. Oh. Yeah, that's right. Alright, that's good. That's where I wanted to leave it for tonight. Let's go. I don't think women should be objectified unless it's done by another woman. She can do whatever she wants to me. God, I'm weak. Thank God. I think you're a tad distracted. Anyway, bedtime. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you'll have an excellent day today and tomorrow, okay? Have a wonderful night. Hopefully tomorrow we will get damn close to the end of this case. I'm assuming we'll be pretty close, okay? I'm pretty sure there's like 2 parts to this. I will have a quick look actually. Because I think there's like 2 parts, yeah, and yeah, so we're not even halfway actually with this case. So we'll probably still take till Monday. Because after part 2, there's another investigation part, and then there's 2 more parts to the trial, so that's fun. We're getting there. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll get a good amount done. Thank you for stream. Thank you. We're still on the surface reading part. Yeah. I knew there was another investigation part, but I thought there might have been something different. Anyway, I'm not distracted. I'm attracted. I'm attracted. Oh, my apologies, madam. Okay. Anyway, have a good night's sleep, everybody. All right. I've obviously got to go to bed. I got work in the morning. So I will see you all tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye. See ya, Jesus. I'm gonna go give a